All right, level 2 Snowman. So I'm going to try to do this as fast as I can. So we have three balls here, 32 by 32, 25 by 25, and 20 by 20. And they are all stacked on top of each other. So how I did that was I grabbed three balls from here, adjusted all the heights, selected all the shapes, clicked align, and you want to click only the middle ones on the bottom. So if you look at the top, the middle, and the middle are both aligned. If that happens, then you see they're grayed out and your ball should be perfectly on top. That was finished with level 1. Now let's make all of these shapes white and let's add some features to them. The most important thing you're going to learn in this lesson is how to use this black cone to lift up shapes. So what I mean by that is the black cone you guys use to lift up your snowman circles, you're going to use all the time for every other shape. So let's begin with his nose. I actually use a paraboloid for that. You can use anything you want. I'm going to hold shift so I can resize him. And I'm going to color him orange as a carrot. I'm going to lift using that black cone all the way up to around his head. And you can see it's really hard to select this. So what I'm going to do is click from the top. And now I can drag it easier. If that doesn't work, you can always click on this little second button here, or F, and it zooms in a lot closer. And then again, holding right click, you can see all the sides. All right, now you need to change this angle by 45 degrees. So I can click on this, clicking down makes segments, clicking up does individual. All right, next thing is we need our buttons and our eyeballs. So I grab a half sphere, I turn it black. The problem with this activity, honestly, is that when we make really small snowmen, all our buttons are really small and hard to deal with. So if it's hard to deal with, sometimes you can just leave it big and then change it. But here's what I do. I make everything small and I deal with it. So I'm going to make it 5 by 5 by 5, our button. And so as you can see, it's really hard to click on this guy. So you can use your arrow keys, or if you just make sure not to click on one of these squares, click in the middle, you can drag him over. Again, we have to turn his degrees. So if you click here, you can turn him and change it by 90. Or again, using the F key, you can zoom in better, get a better angle, and let's turn it by 90. All right. I think 5 is a little much. I might dip in there. All right, great button. Now, once we have one button, what we can do is start from the top and actually click Control D and then lift down, and you can keep duplicating the buttons. And just keep going using your arrow keys. You can see it's down there. Okay, cool. Obviously, you can do better with your buttons. Mine are not very good. And then let's make his eyeballs. So let's press Control D, bring that up. I would make this a little smaller and put one on either side. Again, Control D, move it over on the other side. Nice. I like I left one sphere hanging. There he is. All right, make sure your spheres are fully into his body. They're not hanging out. All right. Next is arms. This can be a little tricky, but it doesn't have to be. But I like to make little stick arms using a twig, kind of like a chicken foot. So what I do is just take a box, stretch it out so it looks like a plank of wood. And then I want two more sticks coming out from each side. So what I do is take this guy, and I'm going to duplicate him, shorten him down to about 7. And what I want is to turn him by 30 degrees. So if you see this little angle here, 30 degrees one way, and plop him on. And then we're going to duplicate. Yeah, sometimes it's better to click away and then duplicate. And we're going to turn him by 60. Nice. And there's our twig. Let's color it brown, and this will be his arm. So we're gonna drag him up. As you can see, it's really hard to maneuver him, so let's group it. Select all the shapes, group. Let's bring him on top. Another fancy trick is if you have your arms angled 45 degrees going up, it's actually going to print very nicely. So what I'm going to do is click 45 degrees, and then make sure your arms are pretty thick. You don't want thin, skinny arms. They look pretty good. These are almost too skinny. I might even make them thicker next time. All right, duplicate. Another fancy trick is mirror, this M button. If you click on that, after you copy and paste it, you can actually make a second twig arm and easily switch it on either side. All right, now finally, really quick, top hat. Let's grab two cylinders, one as the top of the top hat. Let's make its bevel a little bigger, and then we can make it really smooth with all the sides. So that's the top of the top hat. And then let's take another sphere. Let's make it a little bigger, 22, but let's make it flat, like 2. Color that black, and let's slide that underneath. If you want to use the align tool and be fancy, please do so. If you select both of these shapes, click on the align tool, click them on in the middle. They are perfectly in the middle already, and then let's group it. Let's raise him on top of our snowman, and that is our snowman, level 2. Although really that's a level 3. That's really pretty advanced. The next step would be create some mountain scene or Christmas scene around your snowman. And that's all. Thank you.